It's July 15th, 2018. I'm out on the Bay of Green Bay today. I launched at Bayshore Park. It's an area that I fish fairly regularly. I spent a few years in De Pere, and I was able to get out on the bay quite a bit during that time, not nearly as much as I'm fishing now, but we had an offshore wind today, so it was coming from the south, which isn't optimum for fishing there, but it is optimum for running around and trying to learn more about the area. Unfortunately, I don't have any camera footage today. I thought I had it all ready to go, and then when I looked at the footage on the computer, it was not there, so I must have hit the wrong button or hit the button twice or something. But I was able to find, pictures of a little bit of structure. Today the weather was just perfect. We had the offshore wind, and it was a little bit humid, but you get, in that area, you get a little natural air conditioning with the lake being so close. If this is your first time here, I'm an avid fisherman. I live in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. This year I'm documenting 100 fishing trips in an effort to be a better fisherman and posting the results on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you want to follow along. Hit the bell icon if you want to make sure you get all the videos. If you have any feedback or a question, leave a comment. I'm glad to hear from you. I fished a little bit in the places that I knew. I was able to mark fish, but they were really low in the water column, kind of hugging the bottom. And I didn't really feel real confident about catching those. So my strategy was to basically try to find more areas to fish. So I ran up past Dykesville and the Shooter's Dock, and I was kind of zigzagging, trying to mark fish and find structure at the same time. I didn't do enough research to figure out where the dominant structure was. I know people talk about different areas there, and I really didn't know much about them. I was going by the bathymetric data on my depth finder. I'd see an area that looked promising, and I'd run over, and sure enough, there was a decent sized structure there. But the interesting part where I found the most fish, though, was structure that wasn't really dominant. Areas that would come up 3 or 4 feet off the bottom, and it seemed like they were holding a lot more fish and seemed to be active fish than the other areas, the bigger reefs. So where I figured they were active because they were higher in the water column, and there were just more of them. They sure looked like walleyes when I first went in, but that number of walleyes doesn't happen very often. The training I got to read the depth finder said if you see more than 3 or 4 fish, it probably is not walleyes. And I'm in an area that I know to hold a lot of whitefish, at least in the winter. And so my thought was, well, maybe they are whitefish. They seem to be a little bigger marks, but there can be fairly decent sized whitefish. But I trolled over them anyway. I went with my Flicker Shad 11. I like the big bait, and sure enough, as I trolled over the exact spot, I got a bite, and it was a 17-inch walleye. I reset the troll, and I trolled over the same area again, and I got one bite, and as I'm fighting that, I got another bite. Unfortunately, the first bite, I fought to the top. I could see the big mouth coming at me, so I knew it was a big walleye. And then, as I'm kind of concentrating on him, as the other board pulls back, and he snapped. The fish I was fighting snapped the line, and then the second fish that was still, pulling the board back also snapped the line. So I miscalculated. I figured the Winnebago gear that I had was probably good enough, and these, were bigger fish. I'm not sure if the second one was a walleye, but the first one definitely was. It's just, it's almost heartbreaking, that big mouth coming toward the boat and not being able to get it in. So that's the report for today. I got 1 walleye for a total of 101 for the year. This was trip 61 of 100 of my effort to be a better fisherman. Hit the subscribe button if you want to follow along. And with this information, let's get out and fish.